What's going on, y'all? It's Cop Pizzle, and tonight, man, I am so excited about this opportunity to bring on my guest to the channel. And guys, without further ado, I give you license plate guy. Oh man, this is great, right? Oh, what's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you bringing me on, bro.
Oh, this is great. Before we get started, I have to tell a quick story about you, okay? My first interaction with you, and you probably don't remember this, but I remember it, and I when it happened, I said, man, I will never ever not be a Joe the license plate guy fan. I will always support. So for you know, I've been on YouTube since 07, 08, right? For a long time, and I've seen. You know, I've been doing my giant videos, and of course, I watch all the games, most of the games on television, whatnot. And I'd seen highlights on YouTube and this and that. And you know, I'd see Joe, or I'd see license plate guy. There was another one too. Do you remember the New York Giant girl, Reby Sky, or something like that?
Of course, Reby actually sat in. No. Excuse me. Okay. She did not sit in my section. She would wind up in my section.
Okay.
She would sit wherever she could find a seat, and she was hot, so she sat anywhere she wanted to.
Yeah, and so I just she was one of the ones that would get recognized a lot. You know.
Yeah, true.
And so you'd see her in magazines or just whatever on the clips and stuff like that. And so it was like you'd see you and her. Okay. Now, hey, look. Joe, I'm not saying she's better looking than you, so that's not what I said. But you get what I mean. So, anyways, I'd see you guys, and I kept saying, man, one day I want to meet license plate guy. So, I went up to Jersey to watch Giants and Eagles. I think it was in 08, and I couldn't find you. Couldn't find you that day. I looked all over, couldn't find you. And then in one year in Cincinnati, I don't remember exactly the year, but it was in Cincinnati. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find license plate guy. I found you, but I couldn't get to you. I mean, it was after the game. I was zigging and I was zagging and I just couldn't get to you. And I was even yelling. I was like, license plate. I couldn't get to you. Okay. Yeah, so funny. I failed. And then in 2014, Giants came to Nashville and Giants won the game. And after the game, I said, okay, I'm going to find license plate guy. I'm going to find him. So sure enough, the crowd's kind of leaving. And there you are. I got you. Okay. And I'm dead red on you. I got my newly wife with me who I've turned into a Giants fan. And I said, we're going to go meet license plate guy. And so I get to you, and there's a crowd around you, and you're taking pictures. You're kissing babies. You're doing the whole 9 yards. Right. And there's one group of guys right before me, and I'm going to be the last guy. I'm the last guy. I've waited my turn. There's a group of about 30, they're probably in their 30s, 4 or 5 guys. And they're a little bit intoxicated. They're whatever, right? They're like just like guy taking pictures and whatever. And one of them during the photo taking somehow messes up your license plates. Like the rope that was holding the license plates together somehow disconnected some fashion. You fixed it, but when I'm watching this take place and I'm going, oh no, they're going to ruin my license plate guy moment. I'm like, no, I want to meet license. Like they're going to ruin it. Like he's not going to want to talk to anybody else after this because these guys are annoying him. Like I could see it. I could just see it. And I was like, this sucks. So anyways, they get done and I go up to you and I'm like, hey Joe, like, can I take a pic with you? And immediately you say yes, which I was like, this is great. Like he's a nice guy. And then all of a sudden, this is my favorite part of the story. Okay. And I know you don't remember this, but you had a clear plastic bag with your license plates. You just put them back up that the guys had just messed up. Right. So you go to pick them up and I said, Joe, you don't have to do it. They don't have to be in the pit. Cause I just seen the altercation. I just seen what happened. And you said, oh no, you got to have them. You got to get them. We got to take a pic with them. And I was we took the pic and it's one of my favorite pictures. And I was so thankful that you were so nice to me in that moment that I've never forgotten that. 2014, 7 years later, I've never forgotten that of how awesome you were in that experience. We took a great pick, and I mean, you should have heard me all the way to the car with my wife. I was like, it was a good pick, right? You got a good one, right? You got a good one. She's like, oh, I got a good one, And so, anyways, man, I just want to tell you that was an awesome moment, a Giants moment for me to take to get an interaction with Joe, license plate guy. It was an awesome Giants moment. I can't thank you enough for that.
I have to tell. I got to tell you honestly. I don't take those stories. They're not trivial to me. I don't take them with a grain of salt. And I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. We took a pick, great. I don't view it that way because, I get a couple of stories like that, and it doesn't really take much to be a nice freaking guy.
I know.
I don't understand how someone can. I'm a fan like you. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have some access. Yes, I've been around the block. Yes, I have awesome Giants friends. Mm-hmm. I'm still a fan like you. So if you want to take a picture, I'm the one that's honored, not you. So I really do enjoy that story, and I really appreciate that. And I'm glad I wasn't a dick. So,
I'm sure some people, are a little bit envious and jealous of the fact that you get to go all the games. Like there's something about, but I've always viewed it as like, man, if I could do what he's doing, absolutely. Or if I was willing to do that, absolutely go and do it. So for me, in that moment, I was just like, man, I just want to meet him, say hello, go Big Blue. And that was it. And so
I you know what? I got to tell you, man, that's such a good lead into what I wanted to say, because the crazy dude I go to the games with now, Danny.
Yeah, what's funny is you called him. I didn't get the joke when you did it, but you called him Dino one time.
D-Bone.
Oh, D-Bone. Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
There you go. So, because I met you again in Philly at E-Rock's tailgate.
With who I love, by the way.
I know E-Rock's a good guy.
And I know you do too, right? I know you do too.
He's a good guy.
He really is a good dude. I mean, he just roots for a shitty team. But anyway,
that's a terrible mistake he made.
So Danny was like what you just described. I would see Danny on the road, and he'd be like, yo, LPG, what's good? And I'd be like, hey, what's happening? And then I would turn around and he'd be gone. And then the next week I'd run into him, same thing, yo, LPG, what's good? And I think he was trying to week to week, he was trying to show me that he was going to games too, which I'm like, okay, I know I'm not the only one. Like, you have to be a jerk about it. But then I forgot who I was going to games with. The point is, there was an open ticket. Danny took it. And now, just like you, how I met him, now we've been to 10 years together. I mean, this is, I'm going into my 21st year of every game. And last year I got to 5 games, which is a lot in COVID.
Yeah, sure.
But what you said just 2 seconds ago about the hate, man, you're right.
Yeah.
I certainly get a lot of that too. And I don't mind it from E-Rocks, the E-Rocks of the world. He's supposed to. He's from Philly. I don't mind it from Dallas. I don't mind it from Washington fans. I got to be honest with you. I do mind it from Giants fans. If I say something someone doesn't agree with, or I have a bad take on something, which I do often, have a bad take. Someone would be like, oh, license plate guy, oh, we can't argue with you, or oh, you think you're the biggest fan, so no one can have an opinion.
Yeah.
I have never once ever put myself in front of any other Giants fan, ever.
Sure.
So the hate, I can't stand it, bro. It really, you have got to have some pretty thick skin. Look, you got to have thick skin to have this kind of freaking hair, but you got to have thick skin to take some of the hate. But I will take 10 haters to every one of your awesome stories.
Well, hey, look, I just wanted to share that story. Anybody that hasn't got an opportunity to meet you before, I've had nothing but good experiences. Even in Philly, like when I met you, or when I talked to you in Philly, we just talked briefly. And it wasn't as awesome as the moment I got with you in Nashville, but it really I already met you, so it wasn't like I was on that search. But I just wanted to share that story with you for anybody that hadn't got a chance to meet you or seen you on TV. And that you were awesome to me and awesome to my wife, and I just never forgotten that. But speaking of Giants,
that's awesome.
Speaking of Giants, a little bit. You want to talk about Saquon Barkley's legs? You want
to stop it right now, bro? Stop it right now.
Hey, listen. Let's talk about Saquon though, because there's a lot of people bringing up Gettleman, Jones, and Judge being a big year for all three of those guys, but nobody's really talking. I don't really see anybody talking about Barkley, and
because they're scared.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me why. Tell me.
I'm going to tell you, and
I have a strong opinion on this. Now, I want to hear you.
I'm going to tell you, and it's literally a scary situation because, first of all, you're right. It is a big year for Judge. It's a tremendous year for Daniel Jones. This is third year. This is it. Yeah. Okay. My apologies. It's not it, but it is. It will show us a lot. Yeah. If he comes out and does the same crap of last year, there are no more excuses, bro. I won't make him for him either. This is it. He's got to show you, or else are you going to use the 2 number 1 picks and the 2023 pick and combine the 3 number 1s and go get a quarterback? I don't know that answer right now. I'm scared of even thinking about that right now. All right. As far as Barkley is concerned, there's so many different avenues to go. The first avenue is he healthy? I think he's healthy. I think today was a big step. It's Saquon Barkley Day. He's back at practice. I think the Giants are treating him with kid gloves, but not overly kid gloves, meaning, you're hearing stories of second game, third game. My ass. He's going to be out there against Denver. Yeah. There's going to be massive talk about it the week leading up to it.
I agree with that.
He's going to be the starter.
Yeah, Stop I agree with that.
With anybody believing that he's not going to play first game. He's playing first game.
He's playing first game. I agree with that.
But here's the scary situation. Are you going to pay your running back a couple of $100 million for the second contract?
Yeah.
And here is where you're going to have a lot of Giants fans fighting.
Mm-hmm. It's coming.
I fight with that guy Will on Twitter all day long. Will is an extremely bright Giants fan, and as much as I think he's a jerk sometimes, you should have him on your show because he's intelligent.
Okay.
As far as the Barkley hate that he sends, as he'll tell you, I don't hate him himself. I hate the Giants for putting him in his situation. Shut up.
Some of that's tied in with Gettleman, though, with him.
Hold on.
Okay.
Gettleman should have at the very freaking least, picked up the phone and see what could the Giants have gotten? 5 first-rounders, 10 first. I know it's ridiculous. But what could they have got? He didn't even pick up the phone. I wanted a quarterback. But
you wanted Rosen.
No, I did. I wanted freaking Rosen. Okay. He sucks. I still wanted him. The point is, years later, I'm still not complaining about it.
Yeah, sure.
So, but I do want the Giants to extend Barkley. I'm going to say that right now. I do not want them, though, to cash strap themselves for years to come. So your guess is as good as mine, man. And a lot of Giants fans are going to be fighting about this. I'm telling you now.
Well, that's what I'm saying, LPG, is the fact of right now there's a lot of people on the fence about the 3 with Jones, Gettleman, and Judge, right? And I feel like a lot of people are still in the honeymoon phase with Judge. So nobody's really fighting against Judge. But, if there's a bad season, Judge, that will start to happen with Judge.
Hell yeah.
For me, Barkley is a conversation that's really not really happening. Look, I want him to succeed because if he succeeds, then the Giants will succeed, right? I mean, good things will happen, but
I think so.
I'm a little bit, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous because you're exactly right. I mean, you can't give him a huge contract if he hasn't performed up to the standards in which he was drafted number 2 overall.
He's He's not going to accept not a monster contract.
Oh, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, absolutely. If there's a team out there going to offer him that can change his life, give him a ton of cash. It makes a ton of sense. I'm not going to be one of these that say, "Hey, Barkley, give me a hometown discount" kind of deal. That ain't, that's not me. I think he absolutely deserves it if he can prove it on the field. And the reality is, I mean, outside of his rookie year, what is he really giving us?
I mean, you're going to ask me to start building excuses, which I can. I could build you.
Well, look, the offensive line obviously has been a concern, right? But I feel like we drafted him, when I was pro wanting to draft Barkley because I was naive and I was like, yeah, give Eli that piece. Let's do one more run. That was me. I was for the run, but I was for a quarterback. And by the way, how could you be wrong in wanting Barkley? He's the best athlete in the draft. Anybody that is, look, I can't speak for everybody, but I'll say that I was let Eli have Barkley. Let's go for it one more time. That was me.
No doubt.
Now, obviously, Eli's gone. That transition has happened. Daniel's in. So now I've got Barkley, and I don't know what to do with him in the future, because if he can't, number one, obviously he's got to stay healthy. That's
so now you're wasting his complete first contract.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing: so Cowboy fans will tell me and tell you too that Emmitt Smith was a great running back, one of the best ever, right? But I would argue that he was great because he had an awesome offensive line in front of him. That's what that's not taking anything away from Emmitt, but the fact is that helped, right? I think the idea for the Giants was, look, the offensive line is not great for the Giants. Saquon can overcome that. And
that's why he was compared early in his career to Barry Sanders.
Yeah, because Barry never had a lot of help.
He never had a lot of help, and he created his own.
Yeah, sure.
It's a different game now, though. And
so you at least agree with me that, look, Barkley's got to show us something this year because otherwise, at the end of the year, whatever happens, whether they make the playoffs or they don't, Barkley's got to show you something where you're at least going to be on the side of, we can give him that contract.
The Giants are in a predicament with that because he's the face of the franchise. He's the face of the franchise.
Yes.
Today was Saquon Barkley.
I don't want to say that, but yes.
He is.
No, yes, I agree.
Until Daniel Jones can lead you to the playoffs, Saquon Barkley is the face of the franchise.
He's selling the jerseys. I agree.
So without Eli Manning, take you back to 2018, 17, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the face of the franchise if it wasn't for Eli?
I guess OBJ.
And what happened, and what did the fans do? So now you're going to do the same thing with Barkley?
Yeah.
You're going to trade him. You're going to trade him for a couple of future draft picks and an offensive lineman that you couldn't even secure for the 2 years after that. So I'm telling you, I knew where you were going with that. Mm-hmm. It's definitely going to be a problem either way.
But you feel that pressure, though.
Oh, I feel it. I feel it right now. The guy came back today. His first day back. I feel the pressure.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm with you 100%, but I will say that Gettleman, if he's here, because I wanted him gone too, if Gettleman's around, Gettleman has got to field all kind of calls. He's got to look at every avenue. He cannot just say, Saquon Barkley was our number 2 pick, our first overall in 2018, and he's a Giant for life. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you can't say that. Although I want him re-signed, you can't say it.
I didn't know that you wanted Gettleman gone. When did you want
Gettleman
gone?
You know what? Everybody looks at me as a big-time Giants homer, and I am.
Yeah.
I am the biggest homer. I will make excuses for everybody.
Yeah.
But come on, man. I'm also 1% realistic, and I understand.
Let me see if we agree on something, because I'm a homer too. But I'll tell you who I'd like to see get the hell out of here is Evan Ingram.
All right. So
do we agree on that?
Why? He's a Pro Bowl.
I don't want to hear about the Pro Bowl. Look,
hold on.
I want him out of here so bad.
You know what, man? You're taking this shit in so many different ways, because now I'll tell you that he's having the greatest camp ever.
I've already heard that. I've heard that a million times.
And then you're gonna hear that last year, the year before that, year before that. I know. Look, I think that ship has sailed too for trading. Unless he busts out the gate this year, he's a Giant for life too. I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
No, listen.
Although I really like Rudolph. So.
I think Rudolph's going to help us a lot in the red zone.
Rudolph. Oh, by the way, I have him catching the first touchdown pass of the year. But is Rudolph on the pup? Right? He's coming off.
Yes.
I think he's come. I bet you he comes off. Today was Saquon Barkley Day and X-Man. I say Rudolph comes by the end of the week.
Okay.
That's my guess.
LPG breaking some news there. That's nice. But going back to Gettleman, what is it that? Why did you want him gone? What is it that you're upset about? That's kind of, or you that Gettleman lost you?
I think that the lack of. I mean, look, there's so many different reasons why he should have been gone. I'm trying to remember all of the reasons besides the offensive line, besides the debacle that he did with Leonard Williams, which obviously turned out okay after the Giants re-signed him, thank God. But at the time, you didn't know what was going to happen. I don't believe he should have brought in. I mean, you're getting rid of, OBJ for what turned out. Hindsight is 2020. I like Peppers. I like Lawrence. I like Zeitler. I mean, it was a good trade, although I think the Giants should have gotten more, because I still think OBJ is great. I think Gettleman wore out his welcome. The Giants should have cleaned house when Eli retired. Gettleman should have went along with him. I wanted the ball boys fired. I wanted the water boys gone. I wanted the showers cleaned out. I wanted the toilets cleansed. I wanted the whole, just blow the shit up already. And the Giants didn't go that route. Now look, Giants have been around since the dinosaurs, and some people in the front office used to ride those dinosaurs to work. So those guys aren't going anywhere. And again, when Gettleman decides to retire, because the Giants will probably let him, is Kevin Abrams taking over? I mean, it's so many things we can talk about.
I'll just tell you, LPG, I'm pro Gettleman. I'll just tell I'm on the Gettleman side.
Have you always been pro Gettleman?
Yes. Yeah. And there is some, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There's some moves that he's made that I didn't understand. I never understood Ogletree. I actually understood when he got Jonathan Stewart. People made a big fuss about that. That made sense to me, because you're drafting a rookie running back, and I thought it was nice to give him a vet, to give him an opportunity to learn from, watching tape.
Do you remember what he paid Stewart?
Look.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Stewart was obviously his boy from Carolina. Clearly he's went out and got some of his guys. Even Bradbury's worked out, who was from Carolina. So, I mean, obviously,
worked out. He nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, he nailed it. So, to me, what the problem with Gettleman is, or at least what I think it's crazy, is he either A, nails it, Martinez, Bradbury. I think Daniel Jones is going to end up being a big nail. Or I think Darius Slayton was a great 5th-round draft pick. Some people will debate with that. But then he has big swing and misses, right?
Correct.
And that, to me, is there's no middle with Gettleman. It's either home run or it's a strikeout.
So with that said, I wasn't a Gettleman hater.
Yeah.
I just thought it was time. I think, now that I look back at all the things I posted, I think I just wanted fresh blood. Mm-hmm. I wanted a fresh new look at things. I wanted to rearrange the scouting department. I wanted a general manager that can take the D-backs and go out to dinner and understand what they're talking about, and not have nothing in common, or
You
going
think
into the
Gettleman's a little old-fashioned.
right and going into the locker room and not even understanding how players are these years. And here is where I'll be a little different. And I'm sorry for doing this. I never like to one up, but I'm going to one up right now.
Okay, that's fine.
A lot of players would tell me some of the things that he would either say or do, and I was like, no, no way. Be like, yeah, I'll give you one story. I'll give you one story. So, I'm really close with Landon Collins still.
Okay, and I would love to talk about Landon Collins because I know he's a. Go ahead.
No. Hey, look. He would have played on a franchise tag. Don't listen to anything, even though he said he would.
I believe that, Joe.
Even though he said he wouldn't, he told me he would have. That was a given. I think it was like $11-12 million anyway. He would have played on him. That's not the point. The point is he was coming off of an injury, and at that time, I think I was either dog sitting for him. I don't know what I was, but I was at his house every day for 2 weeks straight. Okay. Right. At a certain time, either feed the dog, whatever I was doing. Right. Sure. And it was cool too because he would come back with like some steaks and stuff. So I made out just fine. Anyway, so he would say, I'm working out, getting ready, like really trying to come back from injury. Gettleman would come into the weight room and walk past me. Not, how are you? Not, oh, you're looking good. Not, good afternoon. Not one word. This is during contract. He's going to go into his contract negotiations, and your GM is just slating you? Your GM is walking by you like you don't exist?
Okay, do you think that Gettleman in that moment was already done with Landon?
No. This was not when either the franchise tag was offered, was on the table. This was before they were even having negotiations. But it was coming up. Yeah, that's a really good point because I would be like, yeah. I
kind of wonder if Dave already was, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't even care about negotiations.
Right. Landon, your agent's being a jerk. I'm not talking to either of you. Of course. So look, that's one of 5-6 players that had stories for me. That's not the reason why I want to get them and gone. I just wanted fresh blood.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you this, and I didn't plan on talking about this as far as Landon Collins goes, but I'll say this objectively as a Giants fan who is sometimes a homer, but also I get frustrated with certain players. I thought Landon Collins in 2016 was sensational. I thought he was special.
He was great.
I mean, I thought he was great, but Joe, he got to the point, in my opinion, where he couldn't cover anybody.
I mean, look, I know he's your boy. I get that. It would be hard for me to have a relationship with players and not saying that you can't be objective. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not saying
I know where you're going with this.
I'm not saying that you're incapable of doing that, but for me, it's that would be really tough. To be objective.
I am going to agree with you. I am going to tell you that I might find my judgment a little clouded.
Sure, anybody would.
When it comes to that. However, I'm going to throw it back at you.
Okay.
So Landon Collins had a major problem with coverage, and he couldn't cover the tight end. He couldn't cover this. He couldn't cover that.
So do you agree with that?
It became so bad that it was a glaring problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I will compare it to this. Tell me if this is okay to compare it to. I'm going to compare it to OBJ for a second.
Okay.
And how I'm going to do that is OBJ's antics were because he was on bad teams. If OBJ was doing his stupid stuff with the kicking net and pissing in the end zone and not the egregious stuff like with Josh Norman or not that stuff. If he was just doing dumb stuff and they were winning, would it have been as glaring?
Joe, I'm going to tell you where OBJ lost me.
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you where he lost me. The boat trip really lost me.
All right, hold on. I'm going to play Homer for 1 second. I love that you brought that up because
let me tell you why. Because look, I'm a Giants fan first before I'm a player. Okay, but there's some players who become so, you fall in love with, you support them, like Strahan that way. I'm sure Lawrence Taylor for a lot of people. I love Strahan. Eli Manning was one of them. I mean, a lot of players. A lot of people can't stand Tiki Barber. I love Tiki Barber. I thought he was sensational. I love Tiki.
Oh, no matter what you say, he was one of the greatest Giants. But
one of the greatest Giants, and still, some people argue with until Saquon takes that over, he's the greatest Giants running back. I can say
debatable, but
I will play. You can at least debate it. So the thing about it is, in that moment, to me, I felt like that was Eli's last chance. That was the run, and Eli, you can argue, in that Packer game showed up. And I didn't really plan on talking about the past year with you, but in my opinion, he showed up. He gave us playoff Eli, and the receivers in that game, I just didn't feel like played at the performance that they could have.
And you blame it on a boat trip?
Well, but where? I just want to know where your head's at, LPG. That's all. Where's your head?
All right. So
if you're coming up for it, why can we not take the boat trip after the game? Why can we not?
No. You're in the majority. I'm in the minority. You're in the majority. Well,
so
a lot of people,
okay with the boat trip?
No. I'm going to make it.
Look, I understand that game. That catching a slant pass, the boat trip on Monday isn't going to affect what you do. I get that. I mean,
that's my question is, where my head is at.
Is your head in the game?
Okay.
Are you giving the Giants and Eli Manning everything to go out? Do you need that trip? Do you have to have it?
Fair enough. I will give you that, and that's why I said you're in the majority, because more people will agree with you than agree with me on this. So I'm not going to tell you wrong, because you're not. And everybody is entitled to their opinion. But to me, what you just said, no, that boat trip didn't have anything to do with that drop. And I will tell you that the Giants had a day off. I got to tell you, by the way, Victor Cruz invited me. Could you imagine if I was on that boat? Giant fans would have hated me. The Giant fans would have hated me for the rest of my life.
I would have won. I would have won.
So with that said, they go on this boat trip, right? The Giants, what was it, McAdoo? Who was the coach?
It was McAdoo.
Was McAdoo?
Yeah.
So
it was McAdoo's first year. We went to the playoffs with him.
So he gives them the day off. Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I'm being honest right now.
Yeah, sure.
Who's to say boat trip never happened?
Okay.
The crew winds up at a Hoboken bar, drunk as shit.
Okay.
Playing flip cup.
Yeah.
It's all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
No, it ain't better. No.
So you're saying your asses shouldn't have gone anywhere on that Monday?
Look, you're not going to, I understand young guys, money, right? Little, access. I get it, man. Miami's a great play. Like, I like Miami. I've been there a handful of times. I get it. Like, totally understand it. But it's like the timing of it is what,
it was terrible. Hey, look,
basically, and then I felt like maybe, and I'm gonna tell you this too, LPG, not to change the subject, but then they, in my opinion, they cost Eli in that moment. Okay, in my opinion,
I'm not. You are not wrong.
Whether you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
This is when. So I was willing to give OBJ as a fan a second chance, because I said, you know what, I get it, young, I understand. When you go on ESPN, Josie Anderson is sitting across from you.
That was so dumb.
And you got Lil Wayne, and she says point blank, "Do you have a quarterback problem?" And he doesn't give her a straight answer.
Yeah, he smirks.
But that's not a straight answer, Joe.
Let me dude, I'm not defending it.
Okay.
That was the word. He lost me then.
Okay, that's what I'm so when Gettleman makes that trade and he sends OBJ, it's like I don't care. LBJ's got to go. He's got to go. Because here's the thing, LPG, and I know you understand this too, because you probably have more Giants pride than anybody, right? Or you're filled with passion. just like you deck out your walls and everything, and you love the Giants, and it's all about the G-men. When you go out and Eli, to me, was one of the Giants in history that you just couldn't disrespect.
You better not say a word.
You better not say about there's some Giants, I totally get it, right? Even some that even won Super Bowl rings that you could maybe do a little slack, but not Eli. Like Eli's the one that you got to leave alone. He's just one of them.
Shut your mouth when you talk about him.
Mouth, or at least defend him on ESPN when somebody asks you, "Do you got a quarterback problem?" And
there's nothing to say further. You're 100% correct.
You know that team, and granted, Eli was on the back nine of his career. You know that team had offensive line issues.
Yep.
And that's not going to help Eli. So for me, that's where now Landon never did that. So I can't defend Dave Gettleman for what he did with Landon. I feel like that was a performance issue with Landon. OBJ wasn't necessarily about performance, rather than, to me, it was just like, what are you doing outside of football? Why are you doing this? I get when people are anti-Gettleman and they say, well, I'm anti-Gettleman because of what he did with OBJ, and I'm anti-Gettleman what he did with Collins. Not that those two come up, but it's just like, man, what were you gonna do if you were Gettleman? What were you gonna do?
Yeah,
I get they were your boys. I get they were your boys.
No. I'm in agreement with you. I think the ESPN thing, if I can go back and remember what OBJ and I used to talk about, and he's such a nice guy. That interview was so stupid.
I wanted OBJ to work, LPG.
It was so stupid.
Yeah,
but
I wanted OBJ to work.
I think his plan backfired. I think he was trying to get out of New York and go play with Brady or something, and it backfired, and the Giants shipped him to Cleveland.
Well, and that's the thing, and I don't think you're wrong in that, LPG. I think he wanted to go. Look, I can understand a guy like him who is a superstar, right? I mean, he was probably one of the few NFL players, maybe still is, that's kind of like an NBA player, right? You know, where NBA players, they get face recognition, they're doing shoe deals. NFL players, they're a little bit different than NBA players. So I get that there's a lot of pressure to perform, to win, and when you're on a losing team, it doesn't look as good as LeBron winning on whatever team he's on, so I get the pressure that OBJ may have felt, but to go on to pin it on Eli, which was just beyond that wasn't the route to go with. And then you got Lil Wayne there, and it's just like, man, I can't. How can I, as a Giants fan, defend him? When you go against, this all goes back to Gettleman. Like, I just don't think he had a choice, LPG.
Yeah, look. The only choice he would have had is to realize that OBJ was in the middle of his career and Eli was at the end. But with all that said, the interview was the coffin. Was done. It sealed the coffin.
And let me say this. Let me bring this back with Collins. Peppers, look, Landon Collins was a tackling machine. And again, I'll say in 2016, he had a great year. A special year in 2016, was probably the man on our defense. Yeah. And he's got obviously a size that's a little bit of a tweener, right? Linebacker, safety, you got that tweener size. But what Peppers does, Pepper adds a value of at least punt returning, right? That Collins doesn't bring. I think Peppers has done, there's sometimes he plays a little bit, like a chicken with his head cut off kind of deal, a little bit out of control. But I think bringing Peppers to this defense, and that's another debate that's going to happen at the end of the year if they extend him. I think he's been a good addition, LPG.
He's been a great addition.
Yeah, I think he has.
And I believe
and I give Gettleman credit on that.
I think he's going to be extended before the season.
I hope so, because I think he's a good young piece.
Yeah,
and that's
you're
another
right.
one, in my opinion, that Gettleman hit a home run on. Like again.
Well, that comes off of the trade.
Yeah, I mean, it comes off the trade, and I like Dexter Lawrence. I think he's a good player.
He's a very good player.
I think he has every chance to have a good year. I want to kind of transition this to a little bit on Daniel Jones, because I think Daniel Jones is tied in with Gettleman.
Sure.
Because if they don't make the playoffs and Daniel Jones doesn't have a good year, then Gettleman for sure is gone. Gettleman for sure is gone if Daniel Jones has a bad year. Because
100%,
Daniel Jones, They're in the same boat together. That ship is going together.
100%.
For me, I don't want to compare Daniel to Eli. I don't want to do that, but it's hard not to make those comparisons, right? Because they're very similar in a lot of ways. Not exactly the same skill set. Daniel obviously can run, whereas Eli couldn't really run. But Eli won his Super Bowl in year 4. We've got Daniel here on year 3. I mean, is it fair to put so much pressure on him in year 3 and not potentially give him that year 4? Do you think it's fair?
Oh no, he has a year 4 coming. It's whether you're gonna extend that year 4.
So
I mean, I really believe what I just said. I mean, kudos to you for sticking with Gettleman, because if it turns out that
you can understand why somebody would be pro Gettleman though.
Yeah. If Daniel Jones works out, which I believe he will, Gettleman looks awesome. If he doesn't work out, and Gettleman finagled that Chicago pick and Kadarius Toney and got another number 1 pick and goes and gets something else, then he hit another home run.
Oh, I mean, I don't know where your head was that night, but I was upset that Devontae Smith ended up going to the Eagles. But if you would have told me,
screw chicken legs. Here's the deal.
But if you would have told me that you're giving me a 1st-round pick and Toney, I'm taking that over Smith.
Oh, okay, all right, awesome. Because I had a draft party, right? Okay. I had a draft party at Rock'em Boulder Stadium. Yeah. I had about a dozen Giants there. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And I coming to number 11. Yeah. I wanted my Jamar Chase. I knew obviously he left. I wanted Waddle in that order. He was gone. I said, you know what? Trade the 11th pick.
Okay.
They trade the 11th pick. Devonta Smith goes to the Eagles. Now look, ha. The Eagles jumped in front. I didn't care about any of that. I don't know why everybody was making it a big deal. Would I have wanted Devonta Smith on the Giants? Yeah, Heisman Trophy winner. Let me see what you got. I said it that day. I said it 2 weeks, a month, 2 months before that. I still believe his body will not hold up. I stick to that right now. I don't want any player injured, but I do believe that Devonta Smith will not be an NFL star. He is going to do very well. He is going to make some ridiculous catches. He's going to have a good career. I don't think it's going to be a Hall of Fame career. Has a Heisman Trophy.
I think he's going to be asked to do a lot more for the Eagles than he would have been the Giants.
Agreed. And then the Giants get to number 20. And I don't know how much you follow me, but Kadarius Toney to me was in my top 5 all players.
Okay.
I was pushing him when everybody else was pushing. Who's that other wide receiver that everybody was pushing for? Ah, shit. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because it was the big 3, okay, and then whoever you wanted.
Everybody else, yeah.
To me, it was the big 2, and Devonta Smith. I would have still taken Devonta Smith over Kadarius Toney. I'm not going to lie.
Was
it that 20th pick came, I screamed, give me Kadarius Toney, and that's what the Giants pick. And I'm telling you, he's going to be a human joystick.
Okay, I'm a little bit nervous to call him a human joystick. I'm one of these that like you got to show me, prove it before you. I hope he is. I think
he's going to be all over the field, bro. You are going to be like, oh, what did he just do?
I like the fact that he can bring some special teams. I also like the fact that he's not, he's not being asked to be a number 1 receiver right out of the gate. Not even asked to be a number 2.
Yeah, but hold on. I don't think that he would have been a number 1 or 2 on any team.
No. I know that, but I'm saying that I think it's a good situation he's coming to. Is what I'm suggesting.
I also believe that if Jason Garrett could figure some shit out.
Are you anti-Garrett?
He has Barkley out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. He's got Kadarius Toney and Shepard sitting in the zones.
He's got a Pro Bowler out there.
And he's got freaking Galladay and Slayton and whoever else,
Yeah.
Ross on a fly pattern.
Yeah.
The Giants have weapons.
Yes, they do.
They have weapons.
Yeah. As long as the O-line stays healthy, I think the Giants can do a lot of good things on offense, which here's the thing, though, LPG, means I think Daniel Jones will do well, which means I think Gettleman stays regardless. So
I'm down for all that scenario.
Yeah. And so are you a Garrett guy or not? I think he's gone after this year regardless, whether it's good or bad.
Hey, look, he certainly didn't. Here I go with my freaking excuses. No, I don't think that he showed any. I didn't think he had any game plan. I think that did he not have the personnel? Did he not have people that understood? Did the Giants not understand an offense? Did the wide receivers not understand a tree pattern? Did he just tell them to turn around at 10 feet like we did when we were kids and run a button hook? Yeah. Can you give me some goddamn initiative? So Jason Garrett gotta do something this year.
I think he's going to have. I think the offense as a package involving him is going to have a good year this year. LPG. I believe in Jason Garrett. I believe in him. I think he has every opportunity. I think COVID, had a little something to do with their offense just not clicking. There's a lot of new pieces last year. There were some games there. If they would have played, for example, the Bears a different time later in the year, they would have won that game. We played the Bears at a wrong time.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Potentially the 49ers later in the year, we would have won that game.
Listen, again, the Giants had. I'm going to give Jason Garrett one pass, and that's this year because last year, no deep threat.
No question.
Nobody that the defense would be like, oh yeah, watch out for him. Yeah. Nobody. Who you have to watch out for?
There's a lot of guys, and Garrett is one of them. There's a lot of guys that's got to prove it this year. A lot of them. I mean,
Agreed.
A lot.
Agreed.
Let me ask you this, and we won't go too much longer, but I got to ask you.
Yeah, shoot.
Give me one player. So let's just say there's a casual Giants fan out there that doesn't know a whole lot about the roster, okay? And give me one player on this team that you would like somebody to buy stock into. Like every Sunday, I want you to watch this guy. Who is that guy this year that you would circle and say, just watch him play? Is there anybody that really excites you?
Can I give you a couple, or do I have to only give you one?
Give me a couple, sure.
I'm going to give you Dexter Lawrence.
Okay.
Because I believe Dexter Lawrence is going to put everything together this year and be a monster.
Okay.
I'm also going to stick on the line and tell you Leonard Williams again.
Okay.
But if you want stock, ready? I'm going to go out here on a limb.
Mm-hmm. Give it to me.
I know I said it last year. I'm going to say it again. I'm telling you to watch out for Lorenzo Carter.
Okay.
I know.
Hey, listen. I'm. Hey, Joe. I've crashed on this train too. I'm with you. Let's go.
I'm on his train again. Yeah. I like his speed. I like the length of his body, his arms. I think he could get around the corner. I believe he's going to have a good year. I'm on the Zoe Carter path, but look, you and I don't have to sit here and give stock or tell anybody to watch the D-backs because I believe with Adoree Jackson and obviously top 3 quarterback in the league, Bradbury, and Peppers in the back, and Love is playing whoever, and Robinson or Williams and Holmes, the Giants have themselves a hell of a backfield back there.
I think Rodarius Williams is who's Greedy Williams' brother. I think he's going to be really good for us.
And some camp, bro.
And that's going to be and that's another. And look, I hate to go back to Gettleman, but that's going to be another one of those, in my opinion, late in the like he hit on. This
is the reason why I'm missing training camp. I wanted to see the number one battle. I wanted to see was Williams versus Holmes.
Yeah, well, I like Holmes too.
I know, but Holmes. I love Holmes. But if Williams is that good, and let me tell you, I heard nothing but good things in camp.
Well,
That's going to be a battle.
I think when I tell you who I'm a little nervous on, because again, Gettleman hasn't always hit on free agents. He hasn't always hit on, and so I'm a little nervous about Adoree Jackson. I'm a little nervous about that because I think that could go either way. I think that could be good or bad. And I honestly think one of these young cats, Holmes Williams, could step up and be a good New York football giant. I really
I don't think the guys we mentioned are better than Adoree Jackson. I think Jackson.
Look, I mean, they got to prove it, obviously, right? I mean, they got to go on the field and prove it. But I think Adoree could go either way. He could be good, but I'm really nervous about that, LPG.
I'm certainly not sticking. I'm not sticking Adoree Jackson, even though I believe you can. I'm not sticking Adoree Jackson on the team's number one. I'm sticking Bradbury.
Oh yeah,
So if Adoree Jackson is a question mark, which I don't believe he is, I think he's very good. You stick him with the number two, and he should be all over him.
What is, if you just could say one concern for this
line,
offensive line, interior
line?
I feel pretty good about
it for 10 years. Line.
I feel pretty good about the tackles, LPG. If you give me a rotation of Pert, Thomas, and then Solder, which I'm glad Solder's coming back. Some aren't, but I'm glad Solder's getting.
There's no reason why anybody should be upset that a serviceable big ass guy like Solder.
But you've heard that, right? You've heard that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm total agreement with you on Solder.
I think he's going to be used this year.
I think if Pert can start strong, that's good. I believe Thomas, who is on a mission this year because he had a very up and down season last year.
Gotta prove it.
If they put it back together and the interior line does its job, I am going to tell you something. And I don't know why I'm saying this because.
Are you breaking news again?
No, I'm definitely not breaking news. I just don't believe one of the starting guards is on the team yet.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you on the rider train?
I just don't believe that starting one of the guards is on the team yet.
I mean, obviously somebody can get cut in camp and other camps, and then the Giants can go out and get one of those players.
Correct. It's funny when Twitter was blowing up the other day. The Giants were signing a center. Yeah. I don't want Nick Gates moved.
See, now I'm one of those, and I agree with you because I thought Gates did okay last year. I was okay with and I get a little nervous too, where it's like if you have to move him at guard, to me, you're fooling with it because you're not confident in what you got.
I agree, and he was better than good, by the way.
No,
he was. Yeah. He was really good last year.
No, he was. I agree. I agree with that.
I don't believe at center he gave up a sack in over 1,000 snaps.
I was hoping this was my hope was that they were going to have Gates, Pert, Thomas, Lemieux, and then Hernandez. That was the hope for me. I don't know. We'll see about Lemieux, but
correct.
But I mean, that was the hope for me, and I thought that was a good young core that you could use with Daniel for years to come.
Yeah, well, year two, baby. Let's see what's coming.
And that's where Gettleman did make a big case early on about hog mollies, and that was the big focus. And if that's not improved, that's where you get you make a case for him being gone because if they're not any good this year, Daniel Jones probably won't be either because if he doesn't have time to throw, he's not going to succeed.
That's it. You just hit the nail on the head.
Let me ask you this before you go.
Yes.
Because I'm curious about this. Do you have a favorite Giants team? And I'll give you mine. Just to give you a chance to think. I love the Super Bowl teams, right? I'm old enough to remember all four.
Yep.
I was 5 years old when the Giants won their first Super Bowl. And for me, I loved the 2000 team that lost to the Ravens in the Super Bowl. That's one. Yep. That's probably that's the one that hurts. I hate that they got crushed in that game. Obviously, they played a sensational defense, probably one of the best ever. But Joe, I loved that team. That team really put that last little final touches of Giants fandom in my heart.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious. Do you have a team out there? Do you have a Giants team that's like just you remember maybe a year? Doesn't even matter if they won the Super Bowl or not. If they did, great. Even if they had a bad year, do you have?
I mean, look, it's different for me, bro. in '86 when they went to the Super Bowl, their first one.
Broncos.
I was a preteen, or I was teenager, and I was babysitting for Joe Morris's kids.
Wow.
He lived around the corner.
Yeah.
My idols, and they're going to the Super Bowl. They're going to what? The Giants are going what? So 86, but as an adult and being friends with 53 guys at Super Bowl 42 in 2007, and watching that whole run up close and personal, and hearing stories when they were coming back from practices, I'll take that to my grave, bro.
Yeah, sure.
To my grave.
Yeah. And that's why some people hate you, LPG.
Tell you a funny story. So, I'm at the Super Bowl, and
which one? 42 or 46?
Tyreek catches the ball,
right.
Super Bowl 42. Oh my God, guy, before I was ever a license plate guy.
Yeah.
And the game ends, and I'm sitting like in the section, the row right behind Zach Diassi's family. And it's like row 5 or 6, whatever it was. The game ends, and Zach Diassi comes running over, and he's like right there, and he's telling the security guards, "Let my family down, let my family down." The guy opens the gate, and he's like, "Come on, let's go, let's go." And then he points to me, he's like, "Come on, let's go, let's go." And I'm like, No, I'm not part of the family. To this day, I cry that I was honest about that. To this day, I'm like, why did I say I wasn't part of the family? And then 4 years later, I when they won, I was able to get on the field and catch confetti and do a freaking snow angel and all of that. But that 42 team, nah, man, you can't compare anything to that. It has to be everybody's favorite team because undefeated Patriots, bro.
No, I look, Joe, I get that. That's one of my favorite. I love that team. That team was I tell you this, there's only there's a handful of moments that I've actually, it makes me emotional watching. But when I tell you a moment that I remember that game, and I can't even watch the replay because it tears me up. When Strahan sacked Brady and then he does the flex, it tears me up every time. Because I mentioned this earlier. I love Strahan to death. He was, to me, everything great about.
That's your favorite Giant ever?
No, I think it's Eli.
Oh, really? That's nice. I like that. Good call.
I think it's Eli. Did you hit a button on your mic? Your mic kind of went echo-ish. Did you hit a button actually?
What happened?
I don't know. It just has I don't know if anybody else hears, but maybe it's just me. So I mean, Strahan is, it's weird. I caught LT right there on the, I was old enough to see LT. So I love LT. I love Eli. Eli was, I think the reason why I loved Eli so much is because I just went all in on Eli. I said, I'm riding this train, whether it fall, before he even won a Super Bowl. I said, I'm riding. This is my guy.
Awesome.
I thought Peyton, I always had great respect for his brother Peyton. And I was like, you know what, Eli, I'm going to ride this train no matter what. But Strahan too was one of those. Jesse Armstead, just love those guys. But Strahan was, when he did that flex on Brady, it ate me. I just felt this emotion come over me that I was like, what's wrong with me right now? Like, why am I so why do I love Strahan this much? What is going on with me? But anyways, LPG, I just want to thank you for coming on my channel, man. It means so much to me that you did. You're a great Giants fan. You're a great representation of this fan base, and I say this a lot, a lot of people, we can disagree as fans, and you and I just disagreed on a couple of things, and we were able to talk about it and have a great conversation about it. And so to me, I think you're a great representation of the fan base. I wish you well this year. I hope you have safe travels to all the games, and I hope you have a blast. And I hope that you're able to make a bunch of noise against the opposing team to help us out, win a ball game. So I can't appreciate you enough for coming on the channel. It means a lot to me, and I just appreciate it, man.
Hey, one, thank you for having me. Two, waiting, because we tried to do this before.
I've been hunting you down for a little while.
I know that's okay. And three, I thank you for that story because it's going to stick with me again.
Yeah.
And I just hope that people understand that when you have some kind of a following, I got a following. I got a good following. It's taken me. Don't forget, I've been in this game a long time. So I have this cool following, but it's also given me the platform. Like, I just passed $130,000 in charities.
Awesome.
And I don't do that by myself. I do that with all kinds of Giants fans. So when I tell you that I truly believe in Giants family and Giants Nation, like, we rock together. That's why I can't stand when Giant fans go at each other. It's okay. Everybody can have their own freaking platform. It doesn't have to be one.
Sure.
So I appreciate the time, man. I really do.
Oh no, I think it's awesome, and I hope that anybody that may have been a little anti LPG, sure there may be somebody out there may have a different opinion. At least those that follow my channel. So I appreciate it, man. Go Big Blue. Let's go win a freaking Super Bowl this year, LPG. Let's go see if we can't make something happen. And absolutely, I will try. I'm gonna try to connect with you. I'm gonna go. I'm planning on going to the Monday night game in Kansas City.
I'm there.
I'll try to find you, LPG. I'll try to hunt you down like I did in Cincinnati. If I fail, I fail. But anyways, man, thank you for coming on and appreciate everybody watching and checking out the stream.
See you later, my brother.